Thank you, brother. But God demonstrates his own love toward us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Romans 5:8. The story that I'll be telling you all this morning is about the hymn at Calvary. This verse, I want you to read it first because it kind of resonates through this story. This song was published in 1895 and was written by a man named Bill Newell. Bill was raised by a pastor father, and as a young man, he really fought against his father's faith and ran from it as well. However, his father never gave up on him. He continued to pray for him, and he also would write to Dr. Torrey at the Moody Bible Institute, begging him to enroll his son, Bill, into the institute. To which Dr. Torrey replied, "This is a Bible college, not a reformatory." However, that only encouraged Bill's father to double his efforts and letters to Dr. Torrey, who eventually agreed under some conditions to enroll Bill into the college. These conditions were that he kept to the rules of the school, as well as met with Dr. Torrey every day to be discipled. And so Bill, against his own desires, was enrolled into this college and began studying at the Moody Bible Institute. And at first, he didn't really want to be there. But despite that, he did keep to the rules, and day by day, he slowly changed, and eventually, through his discipleship with Dr. Torrey, came to Christ. And years down the road, Bill even became a professor at that same institute. During his tenure as a professor, he felt the Holy Spirit calling him to write his own testimony account as a hymn, as a song. And he mulled the idea over. He wasn't sure exactly how to come at it or what words he should use. However, he prayed about it. And one day, while he was on campus heading towards his classroom to give a lecture, the lyrics to the song At Calvary hit him like a ton of bricks. And he had to pull over. He ducked into an empty classroom, and finding paper and writing utensils, he jotted down the lyrics as verses, basically as poetry, how most of the hymns were written, on the back of an envelope. And he took that envelope with him, and on his way to his classroom, just so happened to bump into another professor, Dr. Towner, the director of music at the Moody Bible Institute. And so he handed him the envelope, and with a short phrase told him, kind of recommended that this poem could use a good melody. And that's all he said, and then he continued to his class as he was kind of running late. And Dr. Towner, after reading this poem, the lyrics to the song, was immediately struck with inspiration. And he said that he went directly to his studio on campus and composed the music to the song. before Bill was finished giving his lecture, the song had been written and composed. And so afterwards he met back up with Dr. Towner to hear the song at Calvary for the first time as they sang it together. And shortly after this, the song was published. We can see from this story, as well as from the lyrics of this song, that Christ really did make a change in Bill's heart. He was on record stating many times that if it hadn't been for his youth, his years of hardship and fleeing God, that he never would have truly understood the grace of what Christ did on the cross at Calvary. So thank you. Let's bring the music up.